Hello, welcome back. Our next signature for our album is going to be here. It's going to be signature number 3. And I have it fairly well laid out. I hope I've adjusted for any goofs that I haven't anticipated. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so this is the base page. This nice, warm, fuzzy sweater material. 9 inches across, 8 3/4 in your height. The reverse side of this is this seam here. Now we're going to make a couple of flaps that are going to go on the top part of this, and I will show you what it was that I trimmed. You should have this piece in your either set aside pieces because we've used something that was attached to it, or you may need to cut it and trim it out. And because the reverse side of this are these two that would make the basis of a card. You're going to cut these two out, and you're going to cut them in half, and then we're going to use the reverse sides of them. So this one's going to go to our left, and this one is going to go to our right. Now the pieces that I'm using underneath is this herringbone, I think that's what you call this, herringbone paper. The reverse side has that element with the bird. But we're going to use, we haven't used this, so that's why I'm using it. I want equal opportunity for the paper. Okay. So our right side flap is going to come in at 6 7/8 by 4 1/2, and you're going to do a 1/2 inch score. This is going to come and line right up here at the top, and it will fold over. And it is small enough that I can actually mount it this way. And it will be the same for the left side. Now working with the underside, we're going to put this on. So you'll trim these to fit. This is beautiful, but I want to give fair chance to all the papers. Okay, now we're going to attach this. Okay, so I took a couple of cards or tags. These are the 2 tags that I cut out. They match this pattern here if you look at the background. And I've mounted them onto some brown cardstock, and I'm going to set them in here as tucks so that you can come up in here and tuck an item if you wish. If you don't want that and you want the whole thing for a photo, then don't put these down. And depending upon the size of your photo, you could do this and then still tuck it up under here and not lose any of the images on your photo. But that's what we're going to have here on this. Now, down here at the bottom, I hope this is done. I'm going to give you some nightly homework here. We're going to get this pocket laid down here. So it's going to be 3 1/4 inches in the height of it, and it's going to be the 9 inches in the length of it. I cut this to a specific pattern, and with these pages being as big as they are, deeper bottom pockets work out really nice. So you should have this trim in your scraps. The reverse side of it is this, the herringbone. I came in here with my Wink of Stella. I did this early this morning. The Wink of Stella on the floral. And then I put a daub of glue and my bronze prills again in the center of the poinsettias, and I'm not adding anything further other than a thin amount of delicate lace trim here. Now I will be very careful here, because I can't. When I set the prills, again, like I told you earlier, I put in a daub of glue, and then I took my picker and very gently, I kind of pushed the glue down into the top layer, because the bottom layer is attached when it dries, but these top layers have a tendency to fall off. So very gently pushed the glue, rolled this around, and then I took a paper towel and then I daubed up as much of the excess as I could without ruining the glue holding the top layer of the prills on. Oh, this ran out of, which is good because I am going to use this roll to reattach the one that's falling apart. I'm hoping I can make that work. But I have another roll here where I just need a little bit, just a little bit, not much. You know what, I'll tack that down with glue. And I'm using my smaller lace because I don't want to cover up the poinsettias. Okay, so there we go. I did not get that very even up here, and it's gonna, I've got to take it apart the long way. Neat. Okay, now I'm sticking to my work. some more I'm going to trim off here. I must have stretched it, putting it back on there. Okay, this will eventually lay down. All right, so this is what we have now for that flag. We're going to turn these over. Now we're going to take, again, these are those two cards that are stacked, and there's an element over here. You're going to use that, so just set it aside. So the bird and the house are going to go here on the left. And I cut out, there's a present, a gift, and it's got a trailing ribbon. I cut that off. It had 2 pine cones on either side. I cut those off. And then I mounted it onto some brown cardstock, and I put some tape across the bottom, and I'm going to put it down here as a tuck. This side, okay. And then in the cut aparts, there's a pine cone. I trimmed it out and added it to some brown cardstock, and I'm going to put it down here to create another tuck. So these will lay over each other like this. All right, now let's work on our panels. Our right side panel is going to be 6 3/8 by 8 3/4, 1/2 inch score, 5/8 of an inch score. And I want that hinge to the top, so we're going to bring our work right up to the 1/2 inch score line. And because I've got some buildup right here already, I'm going to lay this over first, push it down, and then the rest of this should just lay over. And hopefully I don't have any tape showing. Ta-da! Okay, left side. This one's going to measure in at 7 1/4 inches across, 8 3/4 in height, 1/2 inch score, 5/8 of an inch score. Same thing. I want to bring all this work right up to that 1/2 inch score line. And I'm going to push this top part down first, and then the rest of it. There we go. Now I need to take a look at what's, yep, I'm going to put a magnet in right here. Just one. I think I'm going to use a different one. Hold on a second. Oh, where are they? Oh, here they are. I'm going to use a basic gray. I'm just going to put it dead center on the left side because it's going to open to the left. Okay, now open this back up. And for the inside, we've already worked with this piece where it had the big house over here. In fact, let me pull that out here. So this is the piece we're working, but we're working with the reverse side. Now, the left panel is set up for your larger photos so that they have a home. And I just realized something. Gosh, I hope I didn't mess you guys up. I'm bad about that. A lot of these trims that I get here are because I've already cut the paper. So you have two. We haven't played with this, but this is the paper that I use that's going to be on the front of the flaps. That was the herringbone on the back side. So there's a big strip that gets cut off here at the top, and that's where some of that came from. Or you're going to use the second sheet, because I trimmed quite a bit, and I have some good decent size scraps. So see, I'll show you. So I actually cut into both sheets of this. Just so that you know, I don't want you to go, oh my gosh. All right, so then on the inside here, we're going to create a belly band, and I need to find my, so 4 3/8. So right there and right there, so that I know where to center this. It's going to be a belly band. It's going to come in the center. This, bring it back. This is 1.5 inches by 5 and a hair over. It's not quite 5 7/8. So you need to measure from just inside that score line. Oh, it's too long. Look at that. Do I have them flipped? No, I cut it wrong. So just inside this score line right here, out to the edge. I don't know how I could be off this much, but it's me. What can I say? And I'm going to need to put, so I was off 1/8 of an inch. Wow. So I'll put this on here. So I'll give you the new measurement, but you should always measure these little pockets. See, it should come right to the edge. If you're coming right up to this 5/8, not on it, but right up to it, it should just come right here to the end. So this new measurement is now just a hair under 5 3/4. So my center on this to the center, well, here. Oh, well, for Pete's sake. Am I gonna have a signature that doesn't have? And again, it's a visual thing for me because I'm looking at it at this angle, because I'm trying to keep it in frame for you guys, but then I don't lay them in here straight. And then go to that birch piece that you have in your scraps, trim that out. That means I'm going to have to probably trim this down. Yep. And then I'm going to put down my, on the top here, I'm getting close to where I'm hoping I have enough lace to make it through this album. It would really suck if I have to come in at the last minute with a different trim. Okay. And then from the cut aparts, I cut this. However, that is so flimsy, I'm thinking I'm going to drop this. It's easier to come up underneath this than it is to be tweaking that around all the time. So I'm going to glue this down. Okay, there we go. Now let's get over to the big one. So this is the one that you're going to be able to do some fairly large photos on, because this is sitting at, this particular piece is cut at almost 6.5 inches. So you're looking at a good 5 by 3, 3.5 that you can put top to bottom. Now I am going to tape this in. Oop, I gotta stop. I just see I've tailed off over here. That's not good. Am I going the wrong way with that? Oh, for Pete's sake, Charlie. frog knuckles. Jolly, jolly, jolly. Set this in here straight, girl. Okay, that is so much better looking. Okay, here's this other piece. Again, this is 1.5 inches. And I'll double verify my length. I'm sitting at 6 5/8, so I'm going to come just inside and it goes right to the end. So I don't have any trimming I have to do on this one. But I do want my center. That doesn't look right. Cantered a little bit. I think I need to get a slanted working desk so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. And when I cut my birch pieces, just so that you know, there's a lot of character on this piece of paper, and that's what I was an attempt to try to preserve when I trimmed these out. And then this should be this one. I'm going to bring this a little closer to me so I can see. And this was the other ornament that I cut. And I'm going to do the same so that it looks right when you're looking at the two of them. I'm going to glue down the top part of this. So that's what we have in here. Okay, now we're going to close. And this is what our front's going to look like. this is going to get taped. Nope, 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 nope. I have to fix something here real quick before I get this down here. My hinge is collapsing right here. Now I'm being really careful in and around those prills. I don't know if you can see the wink. Oh, one just fell off. I don't know if you can see the Wink Stella that I've used. And this one I can just glue down. I can get it down before the glue sets. Okay, there we go. Let's turn it over and let's get some tape on this and we can get it in our album. Tape these ends down so I can help that one hinge to stay straight. And that's going to sit right in here like this. coming right to this end, and I'm making sure that I am level. Now this is the one that wants to collapse, so I'm just going to push back on it to encourage it to stand up straight, and then I'll let the tape do the rest of its job. Okay. There we go, we're done. We'll move on to the next one. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.